Aromatime Bistro presents Wine Time Live, hosted by the Hudson Valley's premier green certified entrepreneurs, Marcus and Jamie Giuliano. So grab a glass of your favorite vino, sit back, relax, and travel with them, sharing their passion discovering unique vineyards, outstanding wines, delicious food, and great adventure.
Hello, welcome everybody. Wine Time Live, episode number 18.
Awesome.
A complete surprise.
It is a complete surprise. I'm surprising you.
Jamie surprised me. Not only do we have one wine tonight, but we have three wines from the same region. I was sitting here at my desk, and I queued everything up, and Jamie goes, I said, show up with what? With wine. She goes, I have three wines. And I said, okay, great. And it has to do... The wines have to do in relationship with our wine dinner that just happened last night.
Yes.
Our Keuka Lake wine dinner. So let's see. So what do we have, Jamie?
Awesome. So last night we did a wine dinner, Keuka Lake wines, and we did 4 different wines. One I am out of, but we're going to do 3 of the ones that we did last night. We always do 4 wines and a dish.
At our
restaurant.
So if you're watching on Instagram, or if you're listening on iHeart, or if you're listening on
or watching
Apple,
on Facebook,
or right, go to follow our Instagram at VIPWineryVacations.com or VIP Winery Vacations. If you want to go to the website, VIPWineryVacations.com, you will find a lot of different vacation opportunities in beautiful wine country there. Amazing wine country in Italy. We cannot wait to get back to Italy. We've had lots of contact with our friends in Italy, the ones who own vineyards, our tour guide Luigi, who I messaged today, by the way, our ground operators there, our partners. They're can't wait for us to get back there, and on VIPWineryVacations.com you will find all of our routes. We're booking out for 2 years now. If you look in there, see Campania. We'll talk about going to Campania.
But our next trip is to Keuka Lakes, March 19th through 21st.
Domestic trip.
Domestic trip 2021. So if you're listening to this before March 19th and you want to go with us, let us know.
Yep.
If not, check out all of our other awesome trips that we do. We will take you on an amazing experience. So travel with us and you'll have an amazing experience, and you'll get to taste awesome, delicious wines like this. So today we are going to be tasting the Weiss wine from Keuka Lake, their Gruner Veltliner. We're going to be tasting, I have a little bit less left. This was a popular one, Silver Thread Pinot Noir. And we've actually done a Wine Time Live with Shannon from Silver Thread. And they make awesome, amazing wines there.
And they're on Seneca Lake.
So, and then the last one is Keuka Springs. They're, what is it called? Miller's Cove.
Miller's Cove, yes.
Miller's Cove Red, which is a blend. And that is on the, so Keuka Lake kind of makes a Y.
Y, yep.
And they should point to where they are on the top.
Okay, so they're up here.
Up there.
Up here on the lake, yep, on the Y.
So, if you're not familiar with Keuka Lake, it's in New York. It's in the Finger Lakes area. It's about 3 hours from the Hudson Valley, 3.5 hours from the Hudson Valley area. And they are making amazing wines up there. And we were really, really, really surprised. We had never been to Weiss Vineyard, before. This is a German style wine. They make mostly German style wines.
We just heard about them.
We literally, while we were at a winery next door, they said, have you checked them out? You need to go check them out. So, we were pleasantly surprised. We ran in and we said, we have 20 minutes, taste us on your wines. We tasted and we bought.
We fell in love.
We fell in love
with the wines.
Most of their wines. I mean, they were awesome and delicious. So that will be one of the wineries that we will be visiting in March of 2021.
And this is what we do with all of our trips. We visit the place first.
We try to.
Even in Italy, we visit the place first. We have relationships with the vineyards. And then if there's a vineyard we're trying to go to, one of the other vineyard owners will say, I know them. This happens, we talked about this in Italy before. It's like we email somebody, we email them. Italy, they're notorious for being on their
them a while to
own
get back to you,
schedule.
right?
They're on their own schedule, and what is urgent to us is totally not urgent
urgent
to
to
the Italians, right? So you can be like, hey, I'll be there next Friday.
While we're talking, I'm going to pour the Vice.
You can be like, I'll be there next Friday, and they don't message you back until Thursday because, oh, you're going to be here, so I'll message you back on Thursday. Meantime, it's 2 weeks prior.
Right.
So in Italy,
Cheers.
There's been many times that, oh, this smells great. Oh, wow. There's many times that we've had one of the owners that we know say, you know, we're trying to get into this vineyard, and it's in wherever it is, in Lecce
it's
or
an
Florence.
hour from you or
right,
whatever,
right,
yeah.
Right, and I've been emailing them, and I haven't got a hold of the owner, and he's like, I'll just call him.
I'll
call him right now.
And they get us an appointment.
Yeah, they speak their Italian, and it's like, oh, ciao, ciao, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, be there in an hour, and we're like, wow.
Wow, that was amazing, right?
So it's all about relationships in this business. In the wine business, it's about relationships. It's about knowing that, knowing people that know people, and having good relationships with the people that you know.
Never burning your bridge. Listen,
yeah.
that's the bottom line to it. We never burn our bridge. We make relationships with all of these people that we buy from.
Yep.
And
one of our live viewers on Instagram is saying they definitely have a separate schedule.
Yes, they do.
They sure do have a separate schedule. So the first wine up from Vice. So we were at Domaine Le Sieur, which is a young French couple making their mark in the Finger Lakes, and of course we asked them, we're going to be up here next month doing a wine tour. Who else should we look at? And they go, our neighbor Vice. Back in a couple months prior, we were at Hunt Country with Art.
Yes.
And we were sitting down with Art, tasting some wine, visiting with him. And we said, Art, we're going to be up here in a month and a half, 2 months. Who should we look at? And this is the same thing we do in Italy. We say, okay, who's your neighbor? Who do you work well with? What are some other good wineries that we need to start supporting now? So we did the same concept in the Finger Lakes. And so Hunt Country led us to Domaine Le Sieur. Domaine Le Sieur led us to Vice.
No, you're wrong. Domaine Le Sieur was from the hotel.
From the hotel and from Hunt. They both.
Okay.
They both.
All right, so
in
we're both
fairness,
right.
they both recommended them.
Yes. But
the hotel,
the wife works at the front desk at the hotel, and she said, you have to check out Domaine Le Sieur. And so one of our next Wine Time Lives will be with Domaine Le Sieur. There was a problem with getting the wine this week. And so
you can go to hotels, folks. You can go to hotels and you can ask, like, what are the great wineries to go to in the area? The problem is, like in this case, the wife worked at the winery who was working at the front desk. The wife said, my husband works there. So why wouldn't she recommend it, right?
So we were a little hesitant, right?
We were a little hesitant, but then when Art said it, I'm like, okay, great, because we've already heard that. Mm-hmm. So in fairness, we got 2 recommendations from them. So
you weren't wrong, sorry.
But no, you weren't wrong either. So we were both right. But it's like one of those testimonials you see from people, that you trust testimonials from people that you know. Like if your friend goes, oh my gosh, that restaurant's amazing, they have this, this, and this, as opposed to somebody just saying this restaurant's amazing, because they know you personally of what you like and the relationship you have. So Domaine Le Sieur came up twice. Then Domaine Le Sieur, we were there, and only until we had a good time and enjoyed all the wines did we ask them, okay, we understand you're respectable.
Where else would you recommend on Finger Lakes? And he goes, have you checked out Vice Wine?
Our neighbor. And we're like, no.
So we didn't even know they were there until we drove up.
And he goes, go next door and ask for so-and-so.
Yep.
And we did that. We just showed up unannounced, and they took amazing care
of us. And we came home with 2 of their wines. And actually, the other wine that we did last night at our wine dinner was their Schulhaus Red, which is a blend as well. And
Chancellor and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Did you tell everybody that last night?
Yes, I did.
Perfect, because I forgot. Chancellor and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Chancellor's a very old hybrid grape from France, grown up in the Finger Lakes. The Finger Lakes is, the more and more I drink Finger Lakes wine, the more and more I'm having a love affair at the Finger Lakes.
We are.
I mean, just to think, if you're in New York...
What's coming out of there, though, is amazing. And it's right in our backyard.
It's right in our
backyard. It's like right there.
If you live anywhere in New York, the Finger Lakes are very accessible to you. Whether you're in New York City, you go right up 81, right through Binghamton, get into the Finger Lakes. If you're in the Hudson Valley, very accessible, 3.5 hours. If you're in Albany, extremely accessible. If you're up, say,
oh my gosh.
The Finger Lakes are very accessible to everywhere in New York. It's amazing. Pennsylvania, the southern tier part of the state. It's
Ohio, right? Is not that far either.
No, it's really not. Ohio,
it's not.
Like our son goes to school in
Pennsylvania. He goes to Buffalo.
And they talk about, oh, my friends.
We're going to Michigan. We're going to Ohio State.
And it's only
like 3-4 hours away.
Right.
It's not even.
Right.
So, Yeah. So anyway, so
Gruner.
Gruner. Yeah, you want to talk about Gruner a little
It's
bit?
an Austrian varietal. So the Finger Lakes is growing an insane amount of varietals. This is Gruner Veltliner. It's an Austrian varietal. Of course, the Finger Lakes does very well with colder varietal grapes, and Gruner's definitely one of those from
Pinot Noir,
Austria.
right?
Pinot Noir, which is next. We have 3 wines to get through.
I know, so you better talk fast.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
So Gruner.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry
Dinner
too.
time after this. So.
We roasted off some Romanesco.
And cauliflower, purple cauliflower.
Purple cauliflower. If you're wondering why certain cauliflower is
We're drinking
purple,
wine.
it's because it has a high level of anthocyanins. Anthocyanins are the same thing that turns red wine red. It's the pigment. It's a higher level of antioxidants. So we roasted off some purple cauliflower. Are you gonna make
Romanesco. We have some salmon cakes.
Salmon
And
cakes.
I think I don't know. I was actually thinking maybe we should make tacos with them. I was
Salmon
thinking,
cakes?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe
Crumble them up?
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe top it off with or on the side a little cauliflower, maybe chop it up real thin and put it on top.
If you chop up the cauliflower. So, confession, we were doing inventory in our freezers, and we found a 6-pack of salmon cakes
I
from
love salmon cakes,
about 2 months ago. There were 6 left over for an event we were doing. And I cryovac them and froze them, and I said, "Look at these salmon cakes."
Yeah, that was
and we
exciting.
both looked at each other and we said, "Dinner tonight, dinner tonight." Thaw them,
So
bake
maybe
them up.
we'll make some tacos with them tonight and chop up the cauliflower. The cauliflower and the Romanesco are in the oven right now, so it's going to get nice and crispy. And I'll take it out, I'll chop it up, we'll drizzle it on top, almost like a cauliflower rice. So we'll see how that comes out. Yeah. So
Perfect.
anyway, so we are drinking Gruner Veltliner. And if you're just joining us, hopefully you're listening to our whole podcast, right?
You can catch us on Facebook Live. You can catch us on Instagram Live. You can catch us on YouTube on the replay. And, of course, if you're listening to the audio version, you're going to catch it on iTunes and iHeart, anywhere else that Podbean distributes. So, yeah.
And so we're talking about Finger Lake Wineries today. And, if you want to travel with us, VIPWineryVacations.com. You can travel to these awesome wineries with us. I'm moving on to the Silver Thread Pinot Noir. We literally just have a sip left. I figured, why not? Great intro. And I got to tell you, this was one of the favorites last night. People really,
it
really
is
like
so
this wine.
delicate with a lot of finesse. Very light colored, like Nebbiolo almost.
Yeah, really light.
Like an Italian Barolo. So, as I was saying, the Finger Lakes is growing an insane amount of varietals. Everything from Pinot Meunier, which is one of the classic grapes in Champagne, to Gruner, to Zweigelt, to Cabernet Franc, to Cabernet Sauvignon, to Chardonnay. They're growing a massive amount. But here's the thing, like if you get hooked up with the winery, they're like, oh yeah. Right now, there's only 3 acres of Gruner being grown, or 3 acres of Pinot Meunier grown, and we buy most of their Pinot Meunier for our quote unquote champagne and bottle condition that we're making. And it's like really cool to get up there and say like, wow, this is one of the very few wineries growing this grape or having access to this grape. It's very cool. There's a lot of grape growers up in.
There's a lot of Pinot Noir and a lot of Riesling. I mean, that's definitely
what they're known for.
What they're known for, and that's
And
what
Cab
we
Franc.
see the most of, right? Cab Franc, Pinot Noir, and Riesling, right?
Yep.
Would you agree?
I would totally agree.
And so when you find cool things like Gruner Veltliner and blends, like taste them, grab onto them. Well, I always recommend when you're going somewhere new, don't go for things that you always have.
Right.
Go for things you've never had before so that you can expand your horizons and expand what you're looking for and taste different things. And I'll tell you, a lot of our friends who would never go to the Finger Lakes have now started going to the Finger Lakes, and they love it. They absolutely love the wines from there. And you know what? Your tastes change, and you have to appreciate the wines for where they're from. But I got to tell you, Finger Lakes, they're making awesome, amazing wines now.
So now here's the thing. Wherever you live in the country, like if you're on the Virginia wine trail and you have their wines enough, you're going to find wines you like and all of a sudden be their number one fan. And even like down in Tennessee, down in Georgia, there's wine trails
everywhere, right?
Wine trails everywhere in America. Like there's all 50 states that make wine. They might not grow good grapes, but they make
make
wine.
wine.
They make wine, and they make what's there local. Whenever we travel, if we're in Michigan, wherever, pre-COVID, of course, whenever we would travel, we'd go to a farm-to-table restaurant, sit down, and say, "What's local?" And sometimes they were honest.
We'd go to Whole Foods, or we'd go to a grocery store and say, or a liquor store and say, "What's local?" And
What's
we
local?
would buy a bottle of wine or two
Local beer.
and we would drink and taste them. I mean, there is some really, really good stuff out there. So
There's some amazing stuff, and for us, it's an educational thing. If you're traveling in Michigan, you're like, what in the world is
What could
going
be
on
in Michigan?
But then, if you're at a great restaurant, they'll come over and say, "Oh, this grape is native to here, and this grape grows well here, and this is our known."
I feel like
and you're
Michigan would be better known for their beer than their wine. I don't know, but maybe they are known for their wine.
Blueberry wine.
Blueberry wine.
But remember, we were in Chicago. They actually had a Michigan wines.
They did.
They had
yes,
Michigan
yeah,
wines,
yeah.
and they're like, "This is what's good here." So that's why I keep referencing Michigan.
And distilleries. I think up north in that area, right? They're good. Like Chicago had a lot of really great distilleries and breweries, and I think we need to go back there and go to some wineries. That would be fun.
I can't wait to travel again.
I know.
Out of state.
Out of state, yeah.
So, all right. So, Pinot Noir, light-skinned grape, grows very well in the Finger Lakes. If you're interested in drinking wine for your health, then Pinot Noir from the Finger Lakes is the wine for that. Dr. Creasy in the late 90s, mid-90s, from Cornell University, did a study on resveratrol. Quick rundown of resveratrol. It's an antioxidant. If you know resveratrol or know anything about it, it is the highest it's the number one anti-aging antioxidant out there. It's the fountain of youth, basically.
Maybe that's why we look so young.
Lots of
Lots of good wine.
So resveratrol is found in wine. So sometimes wine producers will tout, or certain studies will tout, or certain people will say, "Hey, drink red wine. It's going to keep you young." And the truth to that comes back to the resveratrol. Resveratrol is the antioxidant in the wine. Dr. Creasy from Cornell University, I think in 96 or 97, said, "You know what? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. What wines have the best levels of resveratrol in them?" Because certain wines you have to drink 25 glasses to get a therapeutic dose of resveratrol. And I'm sure most of you are up for that task, given that, hey, you like wine.
25 glasses is a lot of wine in one night.
Well, whether it's 2 days or whatever, I'm sure most of you are like, "I think I can handle 25 glasses." Realistically, none of us can, right?
So I just poured the next wine, and look at the difference in color.
Right.
From
There you
yours,
go.
right?
Miller's Cove to that. So,
can
all right.
see.
So, resveratrol. It's the antioxidant and it's, Dr. Creasy took everything. Riojas, so Tempranillos. He took Merlots. He took Cabernets from California, from Italy, from all over the world. And he kept finding that, hey, New York State is onto something, the Finger Lakes. And the Dr. Frank vineyard produced the highest levels of resveratrol in the Pinot Noir specifically. Cold weather, Pinot Noir has thin skins. It has to build a good immune system to survive the winters and survive in general. The funguses, the molds, and all that. So Pinot Noir naturally produces a better immune system, stronger grape. The immune system is related to the antioxidants, and the high level of antioxidants come from that. So Dr. Creasy found levels. He measured it in micromolars, and 5 to 8 was average. 10 to 15 was amazing. Anything above 15, you were like, "Oh, wow, this is great." Dr. Frank's Pinot Noir, which is their neighbor, by the way.
Yeah.
They're in the same neighborhood. Neighborhood.
Same area.
They're in the same area, the Finger Lakes. Dr. Frank's Pinot Noir came in at 46.
They are across the street from.
They're across the street.
They're across the lake.
Across the lake, and so are they. Weiss and Cuca. So, Silver Thread's on the other lake. So, Dr. Creasy came up with this 46 micromolars. So you're talking at least 7, 8, 9 times the amount of a regular glass of red wine. So if you are drinking wine for your health, look for Finger Lakes Pinot Noir. That is going to be your best bet. And then start looking young again.
Awesome. Yeah, love it. So we're on to the next wine, Cuca Springs, Miller's Cove, which is Chancelier and Cabernet Franc.
It's a Bordeaux blend. Cabernet Franc is correct.
So what did it? Oh, I was talking about the
Schulhaus.
Sorry, Schulhaus. Sorry.
Which we don't have the Schulhaus right now.
Sorry. So this is a Bordeaux blend, right?
Yep, Cuca Spring. No S. Cuca Spring was one of the very first wineries
Cuca
on the scene.
Spring. I keep saying Cuca Springs, so Cuca
Yep,
Spring.
It's one of the very first wineries on the scene. Len is still the owner. Him and his wife still own it.
We
and
met
operate.
them when we
Yep,
were up
we
there.
were up there. We
We met him, and then when we were leaving, we met her. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful tasting room. Overlooks
Beautiful
the lake.
view.
Beautiful
Gorgeous
views.
view.
amazing wines. We fell in love with their wines, some really great prices on wines. So their winery, or this wine, Miller's Cove. So Miller's Cove is a little area there in Keuka Lake. The grapes in here are a Bordeaux blend. So Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, plus
Malbec. Is there any Malbec in there? Because
So-
that's in. I did research the other day about Bordeaux.
You're correct. Malbec is originally from
So
Bordeaux.
Cab Franc.
Yep. Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet, yeah.
And Malbec.
And
You're
Malbec.
absolutely correct.
That was good.
Malbec is in.
I did research the other day. Cheers to me.
So this wine.
Is there Malbec in here?
So they won't say online.
They don't say what it
It's
is.
nowhere. But we were there and we know.
So
I don't
I'm going to
know.
message Jim, who's the tasting room manager, and I will find out what is in this blend because I am dying to know what's in this blend.
There's also Saporati in here. Saporati being the oldest grape in the world, being from the country
Is
of
there
Georgia.
Saporati in here?
There's a touch of Saporati in here.
Okay.
Saporati is one of those grapes being grown in the Finger Lakes. That's like, hey, super cool, super
like,
unique.
watch me. We brought back a Herman Weimer rosé Saporati.
Saporati,
rosé.
yep.
Actually, it's not Herman Weimer.
It's the other vineyard
the
they
other
own.
vineyard that they just bought. So, but yeah, this wine is like really, really good. Like,
Every wine we have tonight, so the Pinot Noir retails for $25, the Gruner retails for maybe $20, and this bottle retails for maybe $16, $17. Really, look at the color. If you're watching us
so
online,
dark and beautiful.
the color is amazing.
like dark, rich, black cherry. It's so yummy.
Nose is like.
It's really good.
So we have to call them and order some more because we're almost out of that. That's our last bottle of Gruner and the Pinot Noir.
Well, we're going to be up there in a few weeks.
We
So
are.
we'll probably pick up some more.
We'll
advice.
restock on certain things.
And yeah, so we'll definitely restock on some of those. But if you are interested in traveling with Marcus and I, tasting these awesome, great wines, VIPWineryVacations.com. You can check us out. We would love for you to travel with us. We'd love for you to experience what we experience and go to wineries. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
awesome. And you get to meet the owners. You get to go. We went to a back in Domaine-le-Sieur, remember? They took us like back behind the.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, and
well, no. You're not going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about it
after
when
we
do
go
Domaine-le-Sieur.
we start tasting.
Will probably be next week. I'm thinking we're going to open their unoaked Chardonnay next week on our
Yeah, we
wine
have the unoaked
timeline,
Chardonnay coming.
so.
Domaine-le-Sieur is a really cool vineyard in
next to Vice.
next to Vice.
So,
and
yeah.
German inspired. So their neighbors, you're German
giving it
inspired,
away.
German inspired, and French inspired. Two totally different style winemaking.
And they're less than like what,
No,
200 feet from each other?
You can walk from one to
Yeah.
another. They're a football field apart. You can walk from one to another.
How big is a football field?
300 yards, 300 feet, 100 yards.
300 feet. So I said 200. So
Oh, yeah,
300,
yeah.
yeah.
So neighbors respect each other very well, work great together, recommend each other. Two totally different styles.
You know what they said to us? They're not in competition up there.
No.
They want to help each other. And that is so important because, of course they want to sell more wine and they want to make more, but some of them are just making a certain amount,
They
right?
make
And they
such
can
small amounts.
only sell a certain amount, but they're in it with each other and they want to help each other. And I find that absolutely amazing.
A lot of the
So-
wineries do not wholesale. Some of the smaller ones don't wholesale.
Well, 'cause they sell
wholesale
so
on-
much.
Right, they wholesale on a very small level because why discount your wine when you're going to sell mostly everything in the tasting room? And the Finger Lakes were rated the #1 wine trail from TripAdvisor last year. The Finger Lakes are no joke, serious wines up there, and some not so serious ones. You can decipher yourself, and you can
Yes.
ask us for our
We'll
expert
help you.
opinion.
If you're ever traveling up in that area, let us know. We'd love to help you get to a great winery. And we'd love for you to travel with us. So
All right, folks, thanks for tuning
thanks
in.
for tuning in. We appreciate it. And
AromaTimeBistro.com, THYME, like the herb, or VIPWineryVacations.com. Check us out. And, of course, this podcast is available on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and a bunch of other places. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate the support. And until next time,